I'm done talking. Arrest me.
Happy to.
The images from that day still haunt millions. Two teenage best friends, a quiet Indiana trail, a single bridge, a walk meant to be ordinary, and a voice captured on a cell phone saying just 3 words, "Guys, down the hill." Those words have echoed across the world for years. But the truth behind them is darker, more complicated, and far more terrifying than most people realize. This is the full, gripping story of the Delphi Murders, a case that exposed secrets, shattered families, and forced a small town to confront something it was never prepared for. You will not hear this lightly. And after this, you may never walk across an empty trail the same way again. Before we start, remember this. Stories like this are emotionally heavy. People lost their lives. Families are still fighting for justice. So if you watch these stories and walk away without appreciating the fragility of life, then something is wrong. But if you care, really care, about helping these cases stay alive, about keeping pressure on investigators, then make sure you stay until the end. Now, let's go back to February 13th, 2017, the day 2 innocent girls crossed a bridge and never made it back. It was a Monday, a school day for most kids. But in Delphi, Indiana, students had a day off. Liberty German, known as Libby, 14 years old, woke up excited. She had plans with her best friend, Abigail Williams, just 13. The kind of girls who laughed too loud, who took silly photos together, who felt safe in their small town. Nothing about this day looked dangerous. Nothing looked unusual. Around lunchtime, they asked Libby's older sister for a ride to the Monon High Bridge Trail, a place where families walked, where teenagers took pictures. Nothing bad ever happened there, at least not yet. They were dropped off at 1:35 p.m. The sky was clear. The trail was open. And the Monon High Bridge, an old abandoned railroad bridge, stretched painfully long with gaps between each wooden plank. It was the kind of place you stood on carefully, the kind of place where the wind carried every sound. At 2:07 p.m., Libby posted a photo of Abby walking across the bridge, the last known image of her alive. Minutes later, something changed. Something invisible. Something evil. Somewhere on that trail, someone else was walking. A man in a blue jacket, his hands in his pockets, his head lowered, not rushing, not panicked, just walking slowly toward the girls. At first, nobody thought anything unusual about him. Hikers come and go. People take pictures there all the time. But sometime around 2:13 p.m., he got close enough that Libby secretly lifted her phone and hit record. That single act, that one moment of instinct, changed everything. The video she captured was shaky, just a few seconds, but clear enough to reveal him stepping on the bridge. And then his voice, "Guys, down the hill." 3 words, spoken calmly. No shouting, no panic, just cold instructions. Those words would become the center of the entire investigation. Millions would listen. Millions would speculate. But only one person knew why he said them. And what happened next? When Libby and Abby didn't show up to be picked up at 3:15 p.m., their families panicked almost immediately. These were not the kind of girls to wander off. The town mobilized fast. People searched the trail, the woods, the creek area. But as sunset came, the fear grew heavier. By the next morning, everything changed. A volunteer found them, off the trail, near Deer Creek. Their bodies. Authorities refused to release details, and still refuse to this day. The crime scene was described by some insiders as staging. Odd. Unlike anything investigators had seen before. Whatever happened there, it was not random. It was not careless. It was not rushed. Someone took their time. Someone planned something. Someone wanted this case to be remembered. And someone walked out of those woods, alive. The video and audio from Libby's phone became the heart of the investigation. Police released only tiny pieces, never the full recording. Why? Because what was on that phone is likely too disturbing, too graphic, too revealing to be made public. When the audio clip Guys Down the Hill was released, the entire internet exploded with theories. But perhaps the most chilling realization was this. The killer looked completely ordinary. No mask, no rush. Nothing about him screamed danger, and that, investigators said, was exactly why he was dangerous. The kind of man who blends in, the kind who hides in plain sight, the kind who could walk right past you, and you would never guess. For years, police released 2 sketches. 2 completely different faces. 2 completely different ages. 2 directions. And it confused the public deeply. What we know now, one sketch is from an early witness. The other is likely closer to the real killer. Which one? Police will not say. Delphi is a small town. Everyone knows everyone. And when 2 girls are murdered in such a brutal way, the town becomes a pressure cooker. People whisper. People speculate. People blame each other. The case became flooded with rumors. A local ring. A stage crime scene. A signature. A killer who returned to the scene. A communication left behind. A trophy taken. But investigators kept it locked. Which means one thing. Whatever they found at that scene is so unique that releasing it could damage the case. One thing, however, has always been clear. This was personal. This was deliberate. This was not an accident. In October 2022, after years of public pressure, police arrested 50-year-old Richard Allen, a CVS pharmacy worker in Delphi, a man who lived less than 2 miles from the trail, a man who had processed photos for the families, a man who had walked the trail before. In a bizarre twist, Allen reportedly confessed to his wife and others. His defense later claimed that the crime scene had been staged to look ritualistic, possibly involving more people. The trial has been repeatedly delayed, evidence sealed, details hidden, and to this day, nobody outside of law enforcement knows the full truth. Why did he target them? How long did he watch them? What really happened on that trail? Why does the full audio remain sealed? Was anyone else involved? What was left at the scene? And why did the girls seem comfortable enough not to run when they first saw him? The public may never get full answers. And that, more than anything, is what keeps this case alive in our minds. Because when 2 young girls are taken so brutally, in broad daylight, in a small town that believed it was safe, it forces every parent, every sister, every friend confront one horrifying truth. Safety is an illusion, and evil does not always wear a mask. If Libby had not been brave enough to record him, we would have nothing. No image, no voice, no proof. A 14-year-old girl captured her own killer on video. She fought in the only way she could, and because of that, he will never escape his own recorded words. But the fight is not over. The trial is coming. Information may finally spill out. Families may finally get answers. And until justice is fully done, we owe them one thing: to keep their story alive, to remember their faces, to remember their courage, to never allow this case to fade into silence, because silence is exactly where killers thrive. If this story affected you in any way, stay with us. Subscribe and comment your theories so you never miss the updates, because when these cases go cold, families lose hope, and the only thing that keeps pressure on the system is people like you refusing to look away.